Hey guys and girls, my name is Alan and welcome to today's gameplay commentary. So today I'm going to be doing some Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer, as you can see, obviously. And it's a new Apex mission and it's based, well, okay. The Apex mission itself isn't new, but the map is new. And that's what I'm going to be showing off today. So the new map is called Vertigo. And as the name suggests, it's set up in a high location. And so basically, well, you'll see the map in a minute, but it's set in a high location. And it's quite a nice map. I do quite like it. And I'll explain, obviously, when we get onto the map, why I like it. Right, so first off, well, there you are. There you can see the map. So as you can see, it's perched on a big tower thing. So you can fall off the edge and you can die. And it's really nice. I really like it. I mean, I like the colours, aesthetics of it. It's set in like a snowy, icy backdrop. A much nicer icy backdrop than fire-based Icebreaker, which looks bloody awful. And then you guys sort of give you like a landscape view. Also, setting myself up for a nice thumbnail, which I'll probably use for the video or something. That's why, if you see me ever standing, I am enjoying the view, but I'm also thinking to myself, is this going to make for a nice thumbnail? I will always use scenery from inside a match or something like that to make thumbnails, or at least I try to, because that's how I like to make thumbnails. Not only so you can get a taste of what the gameplay is about, but just so to remind myself of what the match is as well. I know some people like to, well, you know, I try to avoid clickbait titles where I can, and obviously they do get views, but I always try and keep it as close to the video that I'm talking about as possible, because that's just how I do things. Right, so I guess yeah, so I've been away for a little bit, not necessarily away, but I just haven't really been playing a lot of Mass Effect Andromeda, and the main reason is because of patch 1.09. So if you haven't heard, or if you haven't been around recently, Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer did get another patch, 1.09. It dropped, I think, 2 weeks ago now. Full breakdown and analysis is on Acorn Vision. We'll post the link to those patch notes in the description. I'll also link it on the screen now. So go over there, check it out if you want to know more about what's changed and what they've incorporated. Gameplay wise, minor changes. The biggest talking point, and this is probably why you've probably heard about it already, is the amount of crap they've added to the game. And when I use the word crap, I don't mean, you know, jokingly, haha, a load of crap. Like literally a load of crap to the game. So they've added, well, where do I even start? They've added pretty much a lot of everything. So new character cards, but not new characters, just new character cards. So you can now level up your characters to a higher level. So you used to go to just level X. You can now go to XX for every single character. So however many characters you've got, double the number of cards now. They've added new weapon mods. Again, I use the word new in inverted commas. They're basically the weapon mods that were taken from the campaign. So for example, you could do a tiny bit more damage, but you know, with a negative effect of maybe higher recoil on your weapon. And so there's a few of those for pretty much every single weapon in the game. I didn't use any of those in the single player, and so I probably won't ever use them in the multiplayer either. The trade-off, in my opinion, is just not worth it. So all of those cards are pointless, wasted for me, right? And for a lot of other people as well. And then, as well as adding those, they've added new weapon variants. Again, they couldn't add new weapons; they just added new variants of existing weapons, and there's and not just one, but 3, right? So not every single weapon, but quite a few of them, the vast majority, have come now in 3 different flavors. So you've got the base flavor, the vanilla flavor, let's just call it that, and then there's now the siphon variant, the bulwark variant, and the concussive variant. I don't know if I pronounced those correctly, but those 3 variants have different properties. So one of them, as you shoot enemies, the damage you deal regens your health, but you don't obviously regen that much compared to how much damage you're dealing. It's just, you know, a small percentage. So I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's, you know, it's not the reason why you'd use a gun on a high difficulty, in my opinion. The other one, if you get headshots, well, critical point kills, it will set off a Biotic explosion. So enemies that are close to the enemy that you just headshotted or whatever will take some damage. I think the radius is quite small, and the damage isn't great, but again, it's better than nothing, I suppose. And then the final one is if you use the weapon, well, I guess, I don't know if you have to be using it, but if you've got it equipped and you're within proximity to teammates, you take a percentage of damage reduction. So I guess it's useful if you're, you know, sort of camped together in a space, a small space, a close space. You take a little bit of reduction in damage, but out of the 3, I guess the most useful would probably be regenerating your health, right? So, but yeah, so a lot of weapons got those variants, and again, I mean, they're good to have, but it's just ridiculous. So you've got the vanilla weapons which go up to X, Then you've got the 3 other variants which also go up to X. So you've now got 40 levels for, you know, for every single weapon that has those 3 variants, which is just mental. And so I've been very annoyed with BioWare. Like 1.06, 1.07, 1.08, each one made the game better, and I was looking forward to the next patch and the next patch and the next patch. And then now they've just they've just reverted all of their good work, in my opinion, with this one patch. I would have been happier if they'd have just added the one new character, which I haven't talked about yet. He's the Batarian Slasher. And I guess that's the other thing we can talk about, is that I assumed, and some other people assumed, that he was going to come along with, you know, a bunch of new DLC characters. So, you know, the Aquarian, the Geth, or whatever. Well, obviously nothing's been confirmed, but we all just assumed that eventually at some point they would turn up. Turns out no, he hasn't come with anybody. He was just a stowaway on one of the arcs. I think one of the Tyrian arcs or something. That's the story behind how he got to Andromeda. So the back of his card reads like he's well, he turned grass basically, and so he had to leave. Well, he had to leave the galaxy to get away from the people he turned grass on. But the card to me hints that there could be more than one Batarian, because it does state that whichever arc, I can't remember which one it was, gave refuge to a couple of mentioned Batarians with an S. So in my mind, that indicates there's probably going to be more than one Batarian kit on the horizon. Again, I don't know. I mean, I've given up guessing on what this game is or isn't going to drop into. I did not predict the variants. I didn't predict the character cards. Nor did a lot of people, I'm guessing, and they turned up. So who knows what they're going to add to the game in the future to further bloat the crap out the loot pools and to annoy us even more. Anyway, so the Batarian Slasher, his powers include Snap Freeze, which returns from ME3, which basically blows out a puff of freezing air, and it flash freezes unprotected targets and chills everyone else. And it can affect multiple targets at the same time, just like it did in ME3. It's really fun, really useful. I don't yet have the character, so I can't give you a first-hand impression of how he plays. I mean, obviously I'd share gameplay if I could do, but because of all these new cards now, I don't even know when I'm going to get him. BioWare have stated that you should be unlocking the normal stuff before you unlock the variants and you know, the additional cards, but a lot of people have been reporting that that's just not the case. I've yet to do a pack opening because, as I said, I've just been so annoyed with BioWare that I don't really know if I fancy putting myself through the pain of unlocking all this crap that I'm just not going to use, and it's just going to frustrate me when I do get it. So I don't know, I've got a lot of credit saved up at the moment. I'm just waiting to see if they make any changes to the system, or just, I don't know, improve things on the way they are, because at the moment I'm just not impressed. There is a character in this lobby, well, player in this lobby, who's actually using the Batarian Slasher, I think, so you can probably try and see some of the action that guy's doing, or girl. I do set off some of his cryo explosions. And also, I didn't mention, but he's, well, I know I haven't mentioned the other two yet, but he's got the Batarian Gauntlet, so he's got that charge, wind up melee, which again returns from AB3. So his other two powers include Flat Cannon, which has been buffed since 1.06, 07. So that's a really good power to use. Great crowd control in addition to Snap Freeze. So you've got the sort of CQC, you've got mid-range, you've got medium range, and then his third power is Concussive Shot. So again, this ties in with setting off your own explosions, so you can snap freeze the target and then blow them up using Concussive for a cryo explosion. And also, I think if you stun enemies, you can also set them up for shock explosions. I can't remember if that's possible or not. Maybe it isn't, maybe I'm making that up. But another good thing about his Batarian Gauntlet is that you can set up combos using it. So if you flash freeze a target, or if you're using priming ammo, or if someone else sets up an enemy for an explosion, you can punch them and it sets off the detonation. Logically, it doesn't make any sense, but hey ho, it's just a game, and I guess it's kind of fun. Right, so I guess I should probably talk about the gameplay before we go any further. So the new Apex mission, well, again, I keep calling it new. It's not a new Apex mission, it's just an Apex mission which has increased melee damage. So the character I'm using is the human Vanguard, and the powers include Biotic Charge, Nova, and Shockwave. And I did put on, I think, melee enhancer, so I'm just going around punching enemies. So I showed you the build at the start, so if you're going to try it out for yourself, you can do so. But basically, I've spec'd it so that my character can charge quite often. So I'll charge in there, and I'll either use a power, or I'll just go straight up and punch them in the face. And as you can see, this is silver, so obviously it's a lot easier to play on silver with a character like this. and it's quite effective on silver as well, as you can see. So even though the melee damage does a lot, and my powers are doing quite a decent amount as well. So charge in, punch him in the face, and they go down. So that's quite nice. You can't really, well, I've yet to try it on high difficulty. In ME3 I did play sort of like this with some characters on high difficulty, and it was doable, but in Andromeda, I don't know, enemies put you down quite quickly, so I've yet to get to that point. But I don't know, maybe in the future, if I continue playing this game, maybe I'll try on a high difficulty. But I just thought I'd have a bit of fun, because obviously it's a melee based Apex modifier. I thought I'd take the Vanguard for a spin, show you guys and girls how you can play with this character and how effective it could be as well. The only thing is, obviously, you are in CQC quite a lot, so if you mess things up or if you get caught off guard, it can go a bit tits up. And as you can see there, shields go down quite quickly. I mean, I guess that's not exclusively a problem for the Vanguard, but for all characters. But the good thing about the charge is you do regenerate some of your shields when you're going for the charge. So as long as you don't get too reckless and go into a massive crowd of enemies, if you like pick them off, one or two on the side, you can charge in there. Even if you're taking damage, you can regen your shields. You can use a power, you can punch him in the face, whatever. And I think another one of my trees is spec, so that if I punch an enemy, I regen a little bit of shield. So that's how I get back some of my shields as well. So it's sort of a risk-reward character, but yeah, if you get too complacent, then you can get taken out. But if you play it just right, stick to the edges, use cover appropriately, and don't charge into a crowd of enemies you can't deal with, in an instant, then it can work out quite well. And also, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the gameplay, but so far, and I managed to keep it up to the end of the match, I don't fire a single shot of my weapon. I use only my powers and only melee. And there's not too many characters that can do that, I don't think. Well, at least not that I've tried. Obviously, the Vanguard is probably one of the more efficient characters because the powers are suited to to attacking enemies and also to sort of regen your health in the process of doing it. Not all characters can do that. So Vanguard is one of those kits from ME3 that you can really rely on your powers to get a lot of kills. I don't know. It's weird though, because in ME3 it feels like there were more kits like that. But in MEA, I don't know, maybe I just haven't got to that point yet where I'm good enough to use them all that way, but it just feels as though you don't have the option with as many kits to just spam powers over and over again. I mean, the Engineer is an example. I used to be able to just use powers non-stop on that kit, but in MEA, not so much. And it's just kits with the Flamethrower in ME3, melted enemies, straight up melted them. But in this game, it's just so weak, and so you have to rely on your weapon for those kits, and it's not very fun. I don't know, there's a lot of things this game doesn't do very well, and as I said, they just keep making these decisions that, like, every time they release something good, it's like, okay, so 6, 7 and 8 patches were, steps forward, small steps forward, not huge steps, but small steps forward, which is a good thing. And then with this one, they've just jumped back down the stairs again. It's just ridiculous. So I don't know what's going on with Bioware, I really don't. They didn't do a stream last week. Some people joked because they didn't want to deal with the fallout from the patch. It's a fair assessment. Probably they didn't want to deal with it, but at some point they are going to have to deal with the flack because not a lot of people have been impressed with this patch. It's not so much they've added a lot more to the game. Like, if it was 30 new weapons, I wouldn't complain about that. I mean, obviously if the weapons were shit, then I would complain, but if it was 30 brand new weapons, each went to level X, that's fine. But they've added like variants of existing weapons, and not just once, but 3 times. And some people have said, why don't they just make a mod or something, instead of a weapon, or just release it as a level 1 weapon, not level 1, but like, just once you've unlocked the weapon, then that's it, you've got it. There's no ranking it up to level X, it just does a special feature if you don't want to do a mod version. But I think a mod system would be good, add more mods to the game, not recycle the ones from single player, which, well, I mean, I didn't use them in single player, but I don't know how other people treat it. Let me know in the comment section below if you did use the mods and if you think they're worth using. Maybe I should give them a try. I mean, if they're anything like the single player ones, I don't think I'll ever will use them. So it's unnecessary filling of just bloating the loot pool is the best way to describe it. And that's effectively what they've done. And the thing that really annoys me is that obviously I was in the process of maxing out my golds, and now there's all these new gold cards and I have to deal with it again. And just like the weapon variants, they also added extra levels to existing characters, which just annoys me so much. I mean, the extra power damage that they provide when you rank them up past X is nice. I mean, I haven't experienced it myself, so I can't tell you. This bit was a bit funny. I was jumping backwards because I knew there was some cover here, but I got caught, I guess, on the thing and I couldn't get past. and I just got smacked down by those rockets. And unfortunately, nobody was close to pick me up, so I had to gel myself because I was about to get stomped on. It's the only consumable I use in the entire game, unfortunately, and it's right in the extraction wave as well. So just goes to show, don't get caught out in the open. I suppose that's one of the things I like about this map. There's quite a lot of open spaces, so if you're a sniper, if you like to attack enemies from a distance, it's quite good. But there's also quite a lot of cover, so you can play CQC if you want to as well. Right, what was I saying? So yeah, character cards. I mean, I would have happily just taken a couple new characters, a couple new weapons. That would have been fine. I mean, we already know they're not going to add massive amounts of DLC in one go. They've already said that in the past, and it's a shame, but I've accepted it. So 1 or 2 extra new characters, 1 or 2 extra new weapons, that's fine. But they haven't added anything new apart from the Batarian, I don't think, and some new mods. Well, inverted commas, new mods. And they've just added variants of existing stuff or new extra levels, and it's just so boring and so pointless. And to me, I don't think I'm ever going to use half of that stuff. I don't think I'm ever going to lock half of the stuff because they've done it for the ultra res as well, so it's just mental. Anyway, enough ranting for one day. I'll pick this up hopefully at the weekend. I will be posting a platinum gameplay video then. So I'll talk about the changes, directly about the gameplay, and also about the platinum difficulty in that video. And I know I've missed out some other points as well, so I'll cover those missing points in that video there. If you enjoy the gameplay, consider tapping that like button, I really appreciate it. You know, cheeky little thumbs up for melee and power only gameplay. I know it's only silver, but still. As always, if you've got any thoughts you'd like to share with me regarding the stuff that I've talked about today or anything you've seen in the match, let me know in the comment section below. But until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care, and I will see you later.